You may be a person who likes to practice speaking by reading out loud books, or you may be a person who has to deliver loud presentations or read a lot of reports. Times where you have to do speaking that's based on a text source. And that's really hard to do because most likely, if I give you a piece of text from your first language and I say, hey, read this out loud, you probably don't read it the same way that you speak normally. It probably sounds like you're reading out loud. So today what I want to do is I want to show you a technique to use that can help you avoid that, so that way you can sound more natural when you're dealing with these sources and you're trying to take written sources into spoken, and you can actually sound human and natural when you do it. Good morning, guys. Good evening. Good afternoon. Welcome to your daily American English pronunciation show. Wake up, American. We are here Monday through Friday, typically sometime between 7 to 8 a.m. to make sure that you can get in your 5 to 10 minutes of practice for today. And to guide you in that process, there is me. Hello, my name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. That's one of the 4 keys to a natural sound in American English pronunciation, which include placement, pitch, breath, trying to weaken your consonant sounds and strengthen your vowel sounds. We have a workshop happening this weekend. It's full in terms of people who will be joining me on screen. But if you would like to view, watch live with us, chat with us, see what's going on, practice with us on your own, then we have plenty of spots available for that. This workshop is called Text to Life. I'm going to highlight that really quick and then we'll get into our exercise. So if you go to fluentamerican.com, you're going to see that there's a Text to Life. You're going to scroll down if you're interested in registering, and you're going to see there's the webinar viewer option there, and that's where you can register. If this sounds interesting to you, if you want to practice, we'll be at 10:30 a.m., basically like 2 hours from right now would be when it starts on 29th. So what you see right here, this is the text that we're going to be working with, and I'm going to be demonstrating for you the things that you need to do to make this sound more natural. We're just going to work on a short little section here, and this is going to give you an idea of not everything we're going to do in the workshop, but an idea of the kind of the basic ideas. So we have this little section of speech that we want to say. Okay. And if I just do it right now, you're flipping the idea of like everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. Instagram is your personal reality show. Okay. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't have much guidance and direction. Okay. So let's break it up. So if you have a text that you're working on, maybe you're giving a speech, maybe there's some sort of presentation you're doing or something like that. This is where you're going to begin. You want to begin by trying to identify a concept called thought groups. Thought groups are basically how you chunk words together when you're speaking. Okay. And so we want to begin by finding our thought groups. So let's start by doing that. Give me 1 second to reshare with you. It's a little bit more manageable. Okay. So once more, we have the script we're working on. The first thing we want to do is we want to find thought groups. Thought groups. What are the words that go together before the next group of words? So maybe for instance, I will have a thought group. You're flipping the idea of, so maybe I'll have a thought group here. Maybe I'll make like its own little thought group. That is one advantage of filler words. I know filler words have a very negative reputation, but one of the nice components about filler words is they give us opportunities to break up our speech a little bit. So they do have some advantages in speech. So you're flipping the idea, first thought group, like, second thought group. Everyone's a celebrity on Instagram, and Instagram is your, I'm going to add a thought group right here, because sometimes what I see happen is students see punctuation, they see periods, they see commas, and they think, oh, period, comma, thought group, period, comma, thought group. Okay, but it doesn't always work like that. Not every period or comma is going to break up a thought group. Okay. And in the middle of phrases, you're going to get thought groups as well. Okay, so I'll show you what this will look like if we have a thought group here. So this is the very first step. If you have a written source, this is what we're going to talk about in our workshop. Okay, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our text and we're going to break things into thought groups. The next thing that we're going to do, once you have your thought groups, that tells us a lot of information. Every thought group has a key stress. Flipping the idea, so maybe I'll stress flipping. Everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. You're flipping the idea of like, everyone's a celebrity. I like stressing everyone in this case. There's a lot of flexibility to this. If you're like, Jeff, why are you stressing that word versus other words? You know, there's not necessarily right or wrong answers to this. There's a lot of flexibility. What's up to Berta's hanging with us? Great to see you, miss. Okay. And Instagram is your, maybe I'll stress your personal reality show. A reality show is what's called a compound noun. That's when two words join together to make a single thing. So in this case, I'm going to make that compound noun. And to demonstrate that in English, to show compound nouns, what we do is we put the stress on the first word. Okay, so reality show. Okay, so this is the second step. We found our thought groups. That's the first step you want to do. The second step you want to do is you want to find out what are your stressed words. What words do you want to stress? Okay. And when we say stress, what that means is that's the place where we're going to go up in pitch. So like for that first thought group, it's going to sound something like, you're flipping the idea of, do you see that flipping is the stress? So I go up there and then everything else moves down. In English, we either go up or we go down. You're flipping the idea of, okay? The next thing that we want to consider, you find your thought groups in your text source. You find your stressed words in your source. The next thing you want to do is you want to identify what is the pitch movement. And for those of you who watch our shadowing channel, you guys see I put these little arrows in more recent videos to let you know where the pitch shifts are. Because if I have a thought group, something I really need to consider. For every thought group has its own pitch level. Every thought group has its own high pitch and low pitch. When you change the thought group, you need to change the pitch level. It's like a hotel. It's like an apartment building. There's different floors. You need to go first floor for one thought group, 10th floor for the next, basement for the next one. So we're just constantly moving around. If you can remember this, it's going to make everything you say sound a lot more natural. Okay. So let's look at our script again. Maybe what I will do is for our first thought group, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go, hi, you're flipping the idea of this like. I'm going to go down in pitch. This is one of the advantages I mentioned earlier of filler words. Filler words give you opportunities to add some pitch contrast. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this like is I'm going to go down in pitch. And by going down in pitch, that's going to help add some pitch contrast to what I'm saying. You're flipping the idea of like, and now what I can do is I can go back up again in pitch on the next one. Everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. And Instagram is your, I'm going to go down. And then maybe personal reality show. I'm going to go down again. You might not understand exactly what's happening yet, and that's okay. I'll walk you through it. Okay. Let's kind of just go thought group by thought group. So I have my first thought group. I'm going to start a little high. You're flipping the idea of, do you see I'm stressing flipping? You're flipping the idea of, now I have my next thought group. My next thought group is like, I need to go down in pitch. You're flipping the idea of, like, you're flipping the idea of, like, then I have my next thought group. My next thought group is going up in pitch. The stress is also on everyone. Okay. You're flipping the idea of, like, everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. You're flipping the idea of, like, everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. And now I need to go down in pitch on my next thought group. So you're flipping the idea of, like, everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. And Instagram is your. And then I need to go down on my last thought group. Okay. You're flipping the idea of, like, everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. And Instagram is your personal reality show. Okay. Do you see how all those pitches, the thought groups changed? I start high. You're flipping the idea of, then I drop. Like, then I go high. Everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. Then I drop. And Instagram is your and then I drop more. Personal reality show. If I don't do that, I end up with something like, you're flipping the idea of like everyone's a celebrity on Instagram. Instagram is your personal reality show, which can be a lot for your listener. Versus if I do these things, you're flipping the idea of like everyone's a celebrity on Instagram, and Instagram is your personal reality show. This is where it starts, guys. So if you're finding this helpful already, I really do think that you're going to enjoy our workshop, okay? Because we're going to talk about these things, and we're going to be talking about a few other techniques. Unfortunately, I don't have time for it right now, but we're going to be talking about some other techniques you can use, including playing around with speed, playing around with pauses, playing around with volume, all of these things, trying to use all of the tools that your voice has access to, because you can do a lot. So if you're finding this helpful, again, if you go to fluentamerican.com/text to life, okay, and if you scroll down, you'll see information about how to register. You'll also see testimonials and things about what people have said about our previous classes and workshops that we've done. It'd be great to see you. And again, the timing was going to be on the 29th at 10:30 a.m. It'd be great to see you there in the webinar. But yeah, regardless whether you're there or not, hopefully you found this helpful and some techniques that you can apply to any written source as you're practicing in American English. Once more, guys, my name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. It's one of the 4 keys to a natural sound: including placement, pitch, breath. Trying to weaken your consonant sounds, strengthen your vowel sounds. Hey, there's a lot of pronunciation resources out there. I am very aware of that. So the fact you spent some time with me in your day is greatly appreciated. I will see you all later. I hope you have a good day, have a good night, and a good afternoon. Take care, guys. Bye.